Hi, I'm Ariel Italic, and you're watching What the Font. It's the show where I pick a topic and figure out how much I know about it as I'm speaking to you. Today, for a change of pace, we're going to talk about something that I might actually know more about than you. Drag. When I say drag to you, what probably pops into your head is the image of a cisgendered man dressed as a cisgendered woman. It's what I'm doing right now. Certainly, that is the facet of drag that is most common in pop culture. You see it in TV and movies all the time. And it is a valid part of drag, but it's not the only part of drag, even if it is the most popular. You've possibly heard that drag is an abbreviation of dressed as a girl, that it comes from Shakespearean times when the men played both male and female roles on stage. There's actually no physical evidence of that, and also, it tends to curtail our idea of what we think of when we think of drag. Drag does not have to be just men dressed as women, and it honestly never has been. Drag is essentially a performance art that involves and comments on gender. That could be portraying a different gender. It could be portraying your own gender, but in a heightened or changed way to comment on how it is perceived societally. Or it could be an erasing or blurring of the gender lines to call the whole concept of gender into question. So, that could mean a man playing a woman. It could mean a woman playing a man. It could be a non-binary person portraying a different non-binary character. There are lots of options. An important thing to remember here is that performing in drag is not the same as being transgender. Drag is a costume that I can take off. Usually I look like this. Sorry about that, straight boys. No, my boner! You'll be okay. Being trans is an inherent part of someone's identity. They wake up trans in the morning, and they go to bed trans at night. In between those 2 points, however, they might perform in drag. As it turns out, being transgender has always been a part of being in drag, even though we haven't always had the language to talk about it. See, we now have words like non-binary or transgender, and that language has evolved and will continue to evolve. However, people who fall outside the polar binary points of male and female have always existed. How we talk about them has changed, but they've been participating in society overall, and in drag specifically, since we've had people. I think a good way to explain this concept of drag as gendered performance is to look at examples from wrestling. Finn Balor is a great one. He comes out in full makeup and a wig, and he turns from a cisgendered man into a genderless demon. That is drag. But when he comes out in his skimpy little shorts and he leans up against the ropes so you can admire his 8-pack abs and his big old bulge, that's also drag. That is Finn commenting on his hyper-masculinity as part of a character. Think about how the Usos portray masculinity. Think about how the New Day portrays masculinity. They're both different takes on the idea. They're both comments on how we see their gender. They're both doing drag. We can see it in the women's division too. Look at Ember Moon versus Bayley. Two very different takes. Or, my god, Becky calling herself the man? That is a commentary on the masculine and the feminine. That is 100,000% drag. Of course, there have been volumes and volumes written about gender and identity and performance and other related topics, and I couldn't possibly boil all of that down into a 10-minute video for you. This is a surface-level examination of a very complex and interwoven set of topics. But what I hope you can take away is that you can think of drag kind of like a work uniform. Like, this is a blue polo at Best Buy, but instead of a name tag that says my name, it's got a witty little comment about how we think about gender in society. I know, it's kinda kooky, but that is basically what you should be looking at right now. Again, all of this comes off total boner killer, but you don't have to think about that right now, because right now, I look great. And the other incredibly important thing to take away from this video is that anyone can do drag. There are no boundaries or restrictions. So if you have an idea for a performance you want to do, or a look you want to turn, or a comment that you want to make, You can do it. The gatekeepers are wrong and lying to you. Fuck them. Find the stage, find the opportunity. You got this. Listen, I can do drag on the goddamn internet, so you can do that too. There is a way for you to make that happen. Drag is for everyone. I'm Ariel Italic. You're whoever you are, and you're whoever you want to be.